All right, let me unpatch my mic.
It's the first NXT of the new year, and we were pleasantly surprised with how great the show was. We're going to talk about all that and how the card is shaping up for NXT TakeOver San Antonio, so stay with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Everybody says yes because it's the revival. Welcome to the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for NXT for Wednesday, January 11th, 2017. We got the entire NXT team here. Squad goals achieved. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica, joined as always by the pigtailed Hobo.
No, pigtails are higher. These are just braids.
Just braids?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good way of getting your hair out of your face.
Well, I mean, it's still got all of the musk, so there is that. It's sort of concentrated.
I have no trouble keeping my hair on my face.
Really? Because it's on your face.
Yeah.
Where can folks find you on social media, damn it?
Oh, that's true, Hobo. What about you, Bill?
What's up?
Welcome back, Bill.
Hey! I've been sick for 11 days.
That's pretty bad.
And counting.
You can find me on Twitter at Sonoma.
Yeah! Sickness!
That's the party lights.
That's just getting
Sick
down.
for 11 days, oh, you win a prize.
We're getting down with the sickness.
You know what the prize is?
What is the prize?
12 more days.
The prize is
Yay!
that I can't hear out of my right ear.
Ooh.
Yay, deafness.
No, it might just be the headset. But welcome to...
It isn't.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. This was the first show of 2017 with new content. Of course, there were NXTs last week. We kind of talked about them last week in our year-end, beginning of the year-end extravaganza.
Review yeah.
I miss all the extravaganza.
That's okay.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganzas.
Hippopotami.
Tetrases.
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
And this was a loaded show. We had a title match for
It
a
was
main event.
jam-packed.
There was jam coming out of our ears.
It was a
We've been
cornucopia.
jammed.
Oh.
It was a cornucopia of jam.
Boysenberried.
We were boysenberried buried in content. The show started off with Asuka getting bamboozled.
Her boys got buried.
They did. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce surprised her with an attack. How nice of them. They knew it was her birthday.
It was the Riddler.
It was the Riddler.
It was Poison
and
Ivy.
Catwoman.
Well, I mean, it was Poison Ivy and Ms. Freeze.
She looks more like the Riddler.
Please,
because
Miss
of the
Free.
Miss Freeze.
Miss Freeze.
Well, I mean,
Doctor.
she's got like the Venus flight. She's a Venus flytrap of NXT.
She hadn't been called that in a while.
Well, what? Okay, sure, whatever, fine. She's the Riddler.
Yeah.
We
She
got-
lost that when Oney Lorcan went back to his roots.
Oh, okay, so
He took her roots.
I'm so
He
okay.
took the
Good.
roots from her flower.
Well, maybe that's what they meant.
Yeah.
There's a love connection in NXT.
That's not what
He's
it
gonna
means.
kick it root down.
Yeah.
So, but it only took one try. Billy and Peyton seemingly run from the. It was earlier in the day, but we like to imagine that they ran straight from backstage into
They
the
must
arena
have.
for their
They
tag
heard
team
their
match
music.
against Macy Evans and Sarah Bridges. What did y'all think of this tag match?
Fun little tag match. Great ending.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was good to see Bridges again. It's not exactly the first time we've seen her, but first time under the Bridges name. First time since she's officially signed to NXT.
Yeah.
And she actually looked pretty darn good in this.
Pretty crazy. And there were some folks in chat that are commenting that you're trying to show your inner Macy Evans with your braids.
She had one long braid.
Well, you do that next week.
Sure.
Then you can whip it around.
If I can figure out how to get my arms to do that. So my shoulders
No,
are
it's your
tight.
hair. It's your hair, not your arms.
Now, how do you do a braid on the top of your
I
head?
thought you were trying to be like, I'm too muscular to.
I am. It's true. I'm yoked. I put on like
He's jacked to the
15 pounds
gills.
since the end of the year.
You've gendered your Mahal.
Wait, what?
Oh, he's just. Have you seen Jinder Mahal lately?
No. See,
He's like Expendables 2 Sylvester Stallone levels of Jack.
That's because people.
yeah.
So Macy took the brunt of the attack. Sarah got a little bit of an offense there, and then Billie Kay and Peyton sort of went revival on him, and were just going back and forth, hot tags, keeping.
Billy grabbed a hold of that eyeball just like Scott Dawson would, and then they pretty much closed up the match after that.
An assisted bulldog to Billy's knee for the
Those
win.
bridges got burned.
Yeah, she went flying. That bouncy bridges that she
Bounced on her nose.
Yeah, right off.
Right off the
knee.
bridges of her nose.
Yeah.
Right,
Hey.
yeah.
After the match, the Aussies get on the mic and say, "Hey, Asuka, how about now?" I really wish the promo would have ended there, and then they just walked to the back, but it didn't.
Boy, Oscar. Shaza.
How about now? Are we enough? They ask if they're enough competition now. They say again they're the most dominant force in NXT. Where Asuka comes stumbling out and starts trying to beat up on the Aussies.
Well, they said that belt is ours.
That was a very interesting point.
Peyton did a across two people discount double check belt.
Yeah, no, they're gonna share it like many of our listeners wish they could be shared.
No, I thought you were gonna reference Lay Cool.
Yeah.
No.
Because they share the Divas Championship.
Do they really?
Yeah, they split it in twain.
It was
I
like a
must have
BFF
blocked
belt.
that out.
It was
Thank
great.
God.
No,
Thanks
they
for
were
reminding me.
It was a pretty sweet.
Remember
Dark
that?
days.
It was a clear cut across
Yeah,
the
it was
middle.
awesome.
Yeah.
They cut it in half.
Yeah,
they
like
cut
a
it in half.
BFF necklace. It was awesome.
You're kidding.
No,
Yeah.
it's great.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, and then they, took Caval to
I
heights
think-
that he'd never before reached.
Yeah, I think I just started wrestling at that time, so I
wow.
was pretty into that.
I'm real old.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we're all old.
No,
We're all-
you guys are
we
much
are
younger than
old.
I am, so it's fine.
I thought it was the sickness that was adding the timbre to your voice.
I'm done with the sickness.
Gotta
Get up.
Gotta get down.
Mother.
Get up. You got to get up
Your
to get
mother
down.
get up?
With the sickness.
And that's... Go ahead.
Thanks, Bill. Asuka starts trying to beat up on the Aussies, but they beat right back up on her.
She came down injured. She's
Yeah.
got too much
Before
chutzpah
she-
for her own
Her
good.
jacket was smudged.
With all of Billy Kay's makeup, well, some of it, and it seemed.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's what it looked. It looked like a big
She
makeup
does.
smudge.
She does cake it on. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade.
Maybe she's
Shaza.
maybe she's just a sweater, so she has to put on multiple layers so that it doesn't all come off.
She's big wool now.
I don't know. Maybe.
She's a heavy sweater.
Well, maybe it's spray tan.
Well, maybe. Surprisingly, Nikki Cross comes out to make the save, beats up on the Aussie, sends
Weird.
them
Tiny
running.
ball of fury.
Seriously, and she
Wow, fury.
then directs that fury towards Asuka, drop kicks her square in the face from the second rope, and just starts wigging out.
As she does.
Just wigging
She's just
out.
wigging out.
It's not a surprise. Not a shocker.
Heavy breathing, panting, some
Biting the ropes.
guttural noises
Yeah.
of different.
Basically, my last 11 days.
Yep.
It's a good impression, and. That was the end of the segment. And when we come back from commercial, not only did we get a recap of what just happened,
In case you missed it.
in case you missed
you're
it,
just tuning in.
In case your hands are busy.
Well, there is an... Okay, we were talking about this while we were watching the episode.
yes, we were.
There is an option when you, if you get home at, 5:20 or something, there is an option on the WWE Network to start watching now or start watching from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So there are some people who I'm sure are like, I want to see what Twitter's talking about right now. I'll start watching right now.
But then they saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Never mind.
This is not television. They really shouldn't treat it like it is.
I don't think they need this for an hour-long program.
No.
Because they just padded an extra 5 minutes. Because it was a full show. It was a full hour show.
Y'all could have
Yeah.
given a promo to anybody else.
I think the reason they do the moments ago thing is mostly to get people ready for that actually happening on the main roster.
Okay.
That's why they program in commercial breaks. That's why the rings are the same size. That's why the hard cam's set up the same way. It's just get people in the
Actually, no,
mindset.
it's the opposite side.
It's the opposite side, but
Look,
Hey.
he was just talking about calling spades. So,
Hey.
yeah. Anyway, you talking about David Spade?
do you want to talk about David Spade?
I don't think he's relevant even in joke form.
Did I hear a niner in there? You calling from a walkie-talkie?
All right, and that's enough for Spadecast for this week. Coming back from the commercial, Nikki, with barely being prompted, shouts back at the correspondent, asking her, I'm not gonna do the Scottish accent. She says she's gonna take
Alicia Fox.
she says she's gonna take the NXT Women's Championship. Do you hear me? Take. take. Eric Young reinforces that they said they were going to take, and it's going to start with the NXT Women's Championship.
And they leave.
And as they leave, we see the newly dubbed Killian Dane just watching.
It's so good.
With
they
the
leave.
creepy
And then the camera
backlight.
like pulls over, like pans over to like watch them leave, and then like the camera like stops and is like, oh, there's a guy there.
Spooks the camera.
It's been there the whole time.
Were you sure that wasn't like a mannequin meant
It
to
was
look like
so
him?
good.
It wasn't that he walks by.
Yeah.
It was like the
Like I never saw him move. He never blinked.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be
a
a
Madame
false.
Tussauds version of him.
Yeah.
Our next match of the evening, Elias Samson versus Jonathan Cruz.
The best Elias Samson match of all time.
Gotta say, we've been talking about Elias Samson since he's come back pretty heavy. Shout out
came
to Elias
back the
Samson
same
who's
weight,
watching
more or less.
live. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Well, he bought a new shirt.
we've been. I mean, he's never been a fan favorite. And
Solid.
he came out of singing tonight. He definitely got them riled up doing that. But it's what he did in the ring that really got us talking. He just clobbered Cruz. He didn't do anything overly fancy. Cruz actually was able to get a few pins in, get some offense that looked like he could have actually sewn it up. But then Samson took that head scissor and had about enough of that, tried to take Cruz's head off, and more or less that was the match.
I don't think Cruz had a chance. Like right as he was about to like get the crowd fired up, he got punched in the clotheslined, but he crumpled.
Lariated right in the
Crumpled.
ear.
Lariato!
Yeah.
Like terrible, awful, poor guy.
This match was just laid out so well.
Yeah, good stuff. Tell us more about the substance of this match, Bill.
Well, just, you had Jonathan Cruz, like, overmatched from the beginning. Just, like, size-wise, he was looking unsure of himself, looking to the crowd, like, oh, do I really have this in me? And, like, no, this guy seems pretty tough. I've seen him on the TV. And, then Elias Samson, took over to start with, but then Cruz used his speed, used his agility, and took Samson by surprise, and then Samson stopped screwing around, which is... It's just a different look of Elias Samson than we've seen before, because we've seen him be plotting, we've seen him be on the side of lopsided victories, we've seen him on the side of lopsided defeats a lot, but this was just laid out differently than most Elias Samson matches we see, and
You
it worked.
bring
It
up
worked
a
really
good
well.
point. The plotting, he wasn't plotting at all tonight. He was incredibly
He was
reactionary.
hitting hard.
And,
When he was done messing around, he was done messing around.
Yeah, I mean, not that he never really took Cruz lightly, but Cruz was just a little bit faster. Cruz made the mistake of taking his eyes off the target, and that's what happens when you do that. You get hit from behind.
Get hit in the face. And we got a big boot and a spinning neck breaker, like a crossroads for the win.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say impressive if Jonathan Cruz wasn't so much smaller than him, but a solid victory for Elias Samson in this one.
It is cool, though, to see Apollo Cruz's brother get some work.
Yeah, got to keep it in the family.
Yeah, it's good.
Next match, we have Andrade Cien Almas, the Idol. El Idolo. Versus Oney Lorcan. A sort of a replay, not a replay, but a rematch of what we got from 2 weeks ago. And this was another great one, too. This was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Because Hobo, you've had your issues with Cien Almas and sort of how he's handled himself and carried himself since he's sort of gone bad.
It's just he went bad in name only. He never really missed a step. When you see guys suddenly become very self-centered, they sort of lose a bit of speed or a certain touch, and he never really lost that. But tonight, he just seemed to be too much about himself. He took those moments to sort of mug at the audience and mug at Oney Lorcan, and he consequently got kicked really hard.
He took one way. He took it too far.
Absolutely, and that's what happens, and that's what should happen. That's what makes him the bad guy is he's selfish, and that selfishness leads to him being just a little bit underclassed to other competitors, like Oney Lorcan, who's strong and fast and intelligent enough to know when Cien Almas is going to start to do his goofy stuff, especially since this is their second match together. He can see the writing on the
At least on television.
He can see the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
and he's prepared whenever Cien starts to do his shtick, let's call it. And lo and behold, he's right there every time. He stayed on top of him until Cien managed to turn the tides just enough to get on top of Oney.
So you like this Almas match better than the last?
Right. I mean,
So you liked what you were seeing tonight.
I did. And Oney wasn't the only one I liked tonight.
Yeah, it was almost perfect.
Yeah, almost.
There was a lot of good stuff lurking in that match.
Just beneath the
Yeah,
surface.
yeah.
Good night, everybody. Can't think of anything for Andrade, but I like this match too. It seemed like he wasn't taking Oney very seriously, despite how the last match went, and he made a conscious decision to go, well, if this isn't working on him, then I'm just going to hit him harder. I'm going to elbow him square in the face several times.
Because Oney does not pull any punches. He will smack
That blockbuster
you.
outside was...
Oh my god.
he broke... It was a neck breaker for sure.
It's like he didn't kill him out there.
Yeah.
He's finished matches with that. He's like he didn't finish his career.
Very lucky. What was your favorite part of this match, Bill?
The finishing stretch.
Yeah.
When Almas started throwing forearms and then that big elbow, when he kicked the arm away and hit that huge reverse elbow, spinning elbow, and it's just cool, man. I like watching these two guys mix it up. I like their match in Osaka a lot, and I like this match maybe even more, just because it was sort of almost stayed truer to the character that he's trying to do, and it's fun. Like, they clearly have really good chemistry together. People are starting to get behind Oney more. Like, he's getting more crowd reaction.
Yeah.
And I like that. I just, I want better things for both of these guys.
One of my favorite things that Cien has been doing a little bit more recently is he's been teasing the knees and not doing the whole like knee slap thing, but also not following through with that. Like just stopping, shouting at the guy and slapping him square in the face and just stomping him. Like, I like how he's flipped that expectation. And he's just
Pumps
a
everyone
jerk.
up for it. And then he says, no, you can't have the mango.
Oh God! And now we're in SNL. Come on. He wins with the.
I'm just a settler of Catan, Chris Catan.
Bill, I'm very happy that despite
I'm so sick.
despite I was gonna say I was gonna go for the knees.
Yes.
I was gonna say that despite being sick, you're still in full form.
Thanks.
But it's probably taken everything in you.
I'm hanging in there.
Who can say? Sorry, that was Enya.
Listen.
He gets the hammerlock DDT for the win.
It was the way he got that made the most sense. He had been an idiot all night trying to lure Oney in, and it just kept catching him. Except he's on, get him off of me, ref. Get him off of me. He's feigning a rib injury or something. And it was in that moment he sidestepped that referee, kicked him square in the gut, hooked him up, and took it home. He
happened really fast.
He got smart enough to realize, I can't just beat him. I'm going to have to actually use something to get that win. And he did. So now they're 1-1. Gonna have to have another match.
It seems like Almas is already writing off Oney Lorcan, because after the match he mentioned that this was his year.
He writes off everybody.
Oney was Oney the first, and Roderick Strong is the second. So we're gonna see a little bit of that.
Is that what?
That's what he said. Graves cleared it up afterwards.
Oh.
So Oney Lorcan was the first, because he's
Shut up!
Shut up!
Shut up!
Unfortunately, he's still working on his English. He's got a very thick accent, but he did say that. He was berating the crowd for like, what? You can't speak Spanish? It was great. Like, and more of that, more of Latin.
Yeah.
Very great. But it looks like he's aiming after Roderick Strong, and he's going to be building his way up the totem pole to get back in the title picture.
He's got to keep an eye on Oney
Start with the
Lorcan.
guy with the most impressive sounding last name first.
Strong.
This guy's strong.
He's strong.
I don't know.
Fix his wagon.
Lorcan's pretty great. Lorcan to strong. That sounds like a chess call. Lorcan to strong. It doesn't.
A chess call.
Yeah. Not a chest cold. But in the back, Tom Phillips sits down side to side with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Like they're sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
Like just kind of having a
It's like
beer.
they could just superimpose like a bar graphic and just put beers on it. And,
Yeah.
But they can't do that.
Tim White's bar. And hanging in the background.
Can we not talk about Tim White again? We talk about him every week.
Yeah, that's true.
He's asked about his matches with Joe, his most recent series with Joe, and he says they were tough, but he's glad that he's still a champion. And when asked about his new competitor, Bobby Roode, he says he likes him. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, dresses well, looks great, smells nice, but he will not be the NXT champion. And apparently Phillips tried to get word with our number one contender, and
A suspiciously deep voice.
yeah, he's like, hey, so I talked to him. He went NPR all of a sudden.
Low voice. Yeah. It was,
To
I was talking to Bobby Roode earlier.
I was talking to Bobby Roode. Way too low and soft. But apparently, Phillips asked him for a comment, and the only thing, apparently just on his person at all times, Bobby Roode kept his ticket to NXT TakeOver Dallas, which he then handed to Nakamura. Of course, Bobby Roode, his first appearance before NXT was in the crowd at NXT TakeOver Dallas. So apparently he's had his eye on him since Nakamura's debut. Maybe that was the reason he signed. He watched that match and went, no, I can do better.
Maybe. Nakamura looking
glorious.
as shook as Nakamura can. He always looks like he's just woken up from a nap. Yeah, oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Or that he, like... Yes.
Not going any further with that. Let's talk about our main event, which is for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
DIY versus Revival 4.
Dude, can you believe that we're starting out the year with one last time Revival DIY? Hopefully not the
quadrilogy.
last. Of the quadrilogy.
It's a new hope.
No, well, technically this is episode
It
1.
was the Alien Resurrection. It's the fourth one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was Alien, Aliens, Aliens is, and then Aliens is. Now we got, all right.
Aliens is
And then AT-Aliens.
Oh, the one that was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
right.
So this match, like you think, oh, it's just the return match. There's nothing special is gonna happen. Whatever.
Maybe you thought that, chump.
Not me, not me, Dad. But this, dang it, they done it again. The boys,
Did it again.
They came through.
The boys are back in
The
town.
boys are
All
back.
the boys are back in town.
The boys are back. Like, what was everybody's expectations for this match? Because they're magic. So I knew it was gonna be good, but this was
So good.
awesome.
I really wasn't sure what to expect, but they delivered like they deliver every single time. They never take a night off. They never take a moment to just sort of phone it in, especially on a match where you're at least 80% sure the tag team is going to retain that is currently holding the championships. There were still
that
moments.
percentage was dropped a couple times. You're
just
like,
drastically.
can I give it back to him? I mean, it didn't. But
A couple times, Tommaso Ciampa didn't look like he was going to kick out, and Lord, was it close, but he managed. They are always at the absolute forefront of what tag team wrestling should be, what tag team wrestling aspires to be, even tonight.
what tag team wrestling wants to be when it grows up.
Right.
Yeah, like as awesome as like American Alpha was, and as well as they meshed with the Revival, like these four men together are like a complete other level. I could watch a match between these two teams every week.
I could just
on
watch
NXT.
a Revival match.
Oh well, no, I mean
dude,
like
but-
make no mistake, the Revival is the truth. Like they are
The truth and the way.
of these two teams. They are the team.
We
like,
go
they
all
have,
day and all night.
2016 was the year of the Revival. Like in every way you could possibly
DIY are the best possible
Opponent.
for the Revival because they fight like individuals, two very high class individuals.
I feel like they don't. I feel like it's different than like Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, even though they both have like the strong amateur wrestling background. They're two very different people with very different strengths. Jason Jordan is the explosive powerhouse, and Chad Gable is the consummate all-around wrestler. Whereas,
Who has that secret explosive power.
Right. Sure. I mean, like, they both, like I said, they both have a lot of similar strengths, but, like, visually they're very different. And, like, when Jordan, like, gets in, you know that he's going to clean house. Like, that's his job. And Tommaso has that to a certain extent, but I think the reason that these two teams match up so well is not just because they're all super talented and have done it together a million times, but because, like, visually the Revival are almost the same person. And that's why they work so well together and why they're such a good team. Like, one of the many reasons. And Ciampa and Gargano, I feel like they have that too. Like, they're also extremely similar. They have extremely similar movesets. They have extremely similar just styles of coming at you. Like, we haven't seen a lot of the Sicilian Psychopath in NXT. And Gargano, as we all know, like, not as a diss or a detriment or anything, completely blank slate. Like, he can be whatever he needs to be in any situation.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so successful as a wrestler and so dangerous as a kayfabe opponent. Is like, you don't know what angle he can possibly come at you with, because he can come at you from every angle. So because Ciampa and Gargano like mesh so well and are so similar, I feel like they're amazing mirror opposites of the Revival.
Pretty well said.
Yeah, it was pretty dang well said. And I think this match was another proving point to that.
It's like any time you say like DIY is gonna face Revival, that's a match you can bet on. Mark?
Thanks, Bill. Today we're sponsored. Today we're
Sponsored by NXT.
Actually, today, as every episode, we're sponsored by viewers like you, because we're like PBS.
Yeah, we're the PBS of wrestling.
I mean, we're not the NPR of wrestling.
Let's have a pledge drive.
We're also like the PB&J of wrestling. Just classic and good. Always at the spot.
Yeah. We need bread.
You like PB&J?
No.
You like PB?
No.
You like Nutella?
Yeah.
You like Nutella and Nutella?
Yeah.
You don't like PB&J?
No. It's complicated.
We got
PB&J
time.
killed my family.
We already recapped the... Oh.
Yeah.
Just a severe PB allergy?
No,
A J allergy?
One night it broke into our house.
It said...
It's in the papers. If you want to read it, it's in the papers.
It said, have you ever danced with the PB&J in the pale moonlight?
I did once. So we're doing
I just want to... Okay, so our artist fans out there, or viewers, sorry, fans...
Fair.
You watch us, but you don't have to like us.
No, I mean,
There are some people who begrudgingly watch us. Our artist viewers and listeners out there, please draw a crime alley page of Hobo's parents being murdered by PB&J
set.
with like the pearls falling to the ground, a young hobo just weeping.
PB and Joe
Young hobo who's 2 feet high and still has a full beard.
Full beard.
Gigantic.
I was
fro.
born this way.
Sure, yeah.
Like Lady
Lady Gaga. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Lady
no.
Gaga.
I'm more authentic than she is. Come on.
Whoa.
Do you
Nobody believes her shtick.
You hear that, monsters?
Bring it.
What are the name? What's the
Lady Gaga and Lady Hobo.
what?
You'll have the accent on
yeah.
that.
Lady
Hobo.
Gaga has the monsters. What does Hobo have? What are your followers? What is your devout
Bindles.
following?
Bindles.
Bindles?
No,
Bindle buds?
Just Bindle
The
buds.
Boxcar Club.
Buddles?
There's
Boxcar-
the,
yeah, I
the
guess it's a
Boxcar
Boxcar Club.
Club, which
Yeah.
is the overarching thing, but they're all just bows.
Bows.
You know, everybody's a bow.
Those.
Everybody's a Bo, especially Bo Dallas and
Yeah.
Bo Bridges. But
Different bow.
I know. But this, like you said, this match felt like it could have gone either way. It seems like, oh well, of course DIY is
That's
gonna
the
win.
challenge that they really have coming into a match like this is can they actually make people believe that they're going to take the titles back? Can they actually do it?
I think that they got 3 extra believers tonight.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Bill's nodding.
Yeah, as he does
For all of you listeners.
in his natural
It's
habitat.
good audio.
It's good. Yeah,
Yes.
solid audio podcast again.
Just
I feel
remember
like
the
my, I
beard
feel like
against
my
the mic.
head's so big it makes a sound.
Not as big as the Big Show's head in the Jetsons movie
Big
trailer.
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just accurate.
Yeah.
They just
Also,
ripped his
yeah,
scale.
also
big
accurate
head.
is that the Jetsons movie features a Big Show heel turn in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah. How apropos. It's like, thanks, George. But I'm going to take over the world, all right?
Okay, my issue with the
Hold
Jetsons.
on. Let's finish the show. Let's finish the show. Let's finish the show, and then we'll talk about the
important.
Jetsons because it is WWE related. DIY gets the win with the Revival seeming to embrace in the middle of the ring, like let's just hold on to each other for 1 second longer. And DIY gets the win with the. Do they have a name for that?
Nope.
They did it.
Just
Done
power couple kick.
They're
The do it to you. The top of the muffin.
Do it to you.
the DTU. Love it. They get the win. Celebration doesn't last long as the authors of pain hit the ring and hit them very hard.
They hit him from behind.
They got him from behind.
Oh.
Pretty rough.
Rough.
And we have a
chapter of ouch.
yes. And we have we finally have a name for the toasting power bombs, the Super Collider,
Ooh,
which I
that's
like.
very good.
That's really cool. And the Aussies of Pain stand tall over DIY. In the back, we get several announcements from Regal. From Kayla. We got a new correspondent. Kayla. Regal makes the tag team title match, which I thought was already made, which I thought was a foregone conclusion.
Well, he
at that
makes
point.
it made.
And her face is pretty smudged as well. Make the what has she been doing for 40 minutes? Make
She's
the
been looking
match.
for the office.
Make the match against who? All of them. So it sounds like we're
I
gonna
like
have.
how she's like holding the title.
This match
for this.
So it looks like if Regal acquiesces, we're gonna have a fatal 4-way match for the NXT Women's Title match, the title at the Takeover San Antonio.
So what I want my wish list for 2017 for NXT.
Tell
I
us.
want every week to have a DIY versus Revival match,
Okay.
and every episode to end with Asuka bursting into somewhere and screaming a question or a demand, like "What's in the box?"
What's in the box?
She's the attitudinal opposite of Shinsuke Nakamura. It's always calm. He's
Well,
always
no, but
calm.
she-
I just screamed a lot!
She was calm and cool for a long time. She just had like the tongue and like the,
Just the tongue.
She had the tongue.
she had the tongue. She had the tongue.
She went to a dilly.
You know,
she had the tongue.
yes, the lengua.
She's got the tongue.
She
Yeah,
had
I would
the
love for NXT's to end with Asuka just bursting in the room and make something. Make the sandwich.
Where's catering?
Where's catering? So that's the show. We're gonna have a little bit of news and gossip.
Nope.
AfterBuzz TV news.
Boys,
So close! So close!
Whatever.
guess who just
There
got
it is.
back today?
It was this isn't a spoiler because WWE announced it and then made it super official.
They wouldn't stop announcing it.
They wouldn't
Yeah,
stop
they
announcing it.
wouldn't.
Like, here's
Shut
another
up,
tweet.
Guess what? And we put all his matches in part.
Look on
our
Instagram,
Look
idiots.
at it. Kassius Ohno has
Oh.
returned
Oh, my.
to NXT.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Yes. Is anybody surprised that they used Kassius Ohno instead of Chris Hero?
A little bit, but
Because I thought that the whole KO thing was like,
yeah.
oh well, okay, we lost Kassius Ohno. Let's get this Kevin Owens guy and we'll do the KO
it's in
thing.
a different federation.
It depends. It depends on a lot of different stuff. I know Kevin Owens. I don't know if they went do something KO.
Kevin Owens doesn't really go by KO. It's on his shirts.
That's fine.
It's on his
You
shirts.
trying to throw us?
Yes.
You maniac!
Well, I mean, I think the Kassius Ohno back when he was here, he had the
Yeah.
huge.
He was that young knockout kid.
Yeah.
Now he's that knockout guy.
He's not a kid. He's
It's hard
not
to
a man.
say. It's hard
He's
to
just
say
a guy.
that and not make it sound
Like
really
us.
offensive or insulting.
I mean, I'm offended and insulted, but that's just in general. Set you straight.
What
Squirt.
if it was Noam Chomsky?
Still.
Noam Chomsky got this kid over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
He has no idea that
please.
the world is
My
trying to
father
kill
was a
you.
kid.
Wait. So yeah. So the implications. He returned after the taping. He's returned to live shows. He fought Cien Almas over the weekend. He showed up.
His final Evolve shows are going to happen Royal Rumble weekend.
Oh, really? He's still going. I didn't. All right. Because he gave a sort of a final speech at PWG at the last
Well, that was
show.
PWG.
Yeah.
Evolve still has they're still
Partnership,
cool.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Plus it's the same town.
And does anybody think he will be redubbed? Like, if they're gonna go
Like,
With a
they're gonna put
different
new
voice?
on him?
no.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, are they going to rename him? Because right now they're
Kassius Ohno.
reintroducing him as Kassius Ohno. They're not
It's
going to
just
say
gonna be Kassius Ohno.
that was the
Well,
past. Because we had Damo for a little bit, and now we've got Killian Dane.
Yeah.
So it was Damo for a couple of weeks, and
Who's
then
Damo?
Well, like, Kenta was Kenta for his introduction, and then he's like, don't call me
and
Kenta.
Fergal Devitt. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm,
Yeah.
exactly.
that's
No.
what
He
I'm
might,
thinking. Do
they
you
might
think
be
we're
like,
gonna do that?
no, because I saw the, I don't know if you've seen the video, but when he comes out, the Kassius Ohno like Titantron.
And it's still the old one. They did not make him a new
No,
one.
no,
It didn't.
Why
even
would
fit,
you?
It didn't fit the screen.
Right.
But yeah, so they posted a live stream where he came out, confronted Shinsuke Nakamura, patted the title belt, and left, and that was it. So implications that he's just inserting himself into
Nice
the title
belt,
picture.
pal.
I'm gonna get one just like it
Shame
at
if something were to
the WWEShopZone.com.
happen to you.
He's gonna steal it. So
He's
yeah,
gonna buy a replica.
he's just gonna buy another one and show up with
You
it.
know what? I was gonna challenge for the title, but I found one on WWEShop.com.
He's just gonna be
Now that should be an angle where someone's like, you know, I was going to challenge for the Intercontinental title, but shop.wwe.com has replicas that look exactly the same. So I got one. It's all good, everybody.
They had them for 25% off this past
Yeah.
weekend. If you miss it, well, they'll probably do it again.
It's
next
all
week.
good, everybody. I got my own. I'm just going to wrestle Heath Slater or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean,
Or whatever.
I just like the belt. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to be the champion. I just like the belt.
Well,
so.
like Apollo Cruz, just happy to be here.
Yeah, hey, perfect. Just happy to have a belt.
That's what's
Really quickly, Zeno are in chat saying, now team him up with Cesaro, damn it, Kings of Wrestling reunion. Does anybody think that's going to happen within the next 5 years? Or
maybe the next
ever?
5 years.
Wrestling's weird.
Yeah,
Anything's
you never know
possible.
what's gonna happen.
You literally never say.
We can
never.
run into like a designated survivor situation. Not that I would wish that on anything, just like
Designated
Anybody in the
wrestling
WWE?
survivor. It's Rhino.
No, you know the designated survivor is John Cena. They're like,
No,
all right, we're going to
no.
a very
John Cena's the president.
No, John
Come
Cena.
on.
John Cena's going to be on the front lines. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so in another...
Now, if they tried to make him the designated survivor, they're like, we're going to a very dangerous situation. We're going to put John Cena on a bunker, and John Cena's like, you put me on the front lines, Jack!
Exactly. I love that tone. Thank you, Bill.
You're not going to put me in a bunker!
That's
That's how he talks backstage.
a good one.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Dude,
I've heard great things.
it was really hard for him to start on SNL because he came like that, and they had to peel him back.
John Cena voice is so close to Jay Farrow's Stephen A. Smith voice. Like,
That's a good pull. Well, before we go into Jetson's cast,
Yeah.
we
Jetson.
another piece of news is we got 2 new names for Tommy End is now going by Aleister Black, and Damo is going by Killian Dane.
I'm a huge fan of both of these.
Me too. Really cool.
They fit both of the characters super well. Killian Dane's, in my opinion, is a huge upgrade from Damo.
Damo.
It didn't.
What's up,
Yeah.
Damo?
I don't know why it worked in the Independents and it just did not
Well,
work in NXT.
Big Damo worked on the Independents because where he was so much bigger than everyone else he was working with.
And bigger than the rings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
small,
when,
that's fair.
when he lost the big, and then it was just like, that's Damo.
Look.
Oh,
hey,
that's
Damo.
just
Hey,
Damo.
Damo! Hey,
Damo.
hey, yo, oh,
Hey,
wait.
yo, Damo. But it's interesting. It's interesting how last week we were talking about how the era of the indie guys was just like, oh yeah, keep your name.
Yeah.
And now we're back to, oh no, we're gonna relaunch them as new people.
But I think it's there's a certain level at which like we should keep your name. Like Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Roderick Strong even.
Yeah.
It's like you have a cachet as this person, you're gonna stay that person. Damo, big on the UK indie scene, hardly known over here.
Right.
So I mean, it makes sense to be like, well, you're not past that threshold. We can have our own name for you that we can trademark, and it'll be just as fine. Tommy End, I was a huge fan of the Tommy End name, but Aleister Black just fits him so much better. Like, knowing what you know about Tommy End and like the basis of the name and everything.
Even if he keeps the look.
Yeah, no, I mean, it works perfectly
Solid.
with his look. Like, it works better with his look than Tommy End does. Like, Tommy End. Like,
He's the
like
end.
if you think about it too long, it's like, what?
Tommy
Yeah,
Butt.
no, it is kind of thin.
Yeah.
Tommy
so
Butt.
Aleister Black, super great. Like, it's a name based in the occult. Like, really cool, really in fitting with him. He clearly picked the Aleister part of that name.
Aleister, right.
Yeah,
Because
Aleister
of,
Crowley.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Just
So-
you put it together.
Come on.
So super good. But like, so when you have a situation like Kassius Ohno, Chris Hero, though, although Chris Hero would have had the name Cachet on his own coming in fresh for the first time, he has history in NXT as Kassius Ohno.
Yeah.
And it's a name that NXT and WWE supposedly already has like somewhat of a hold on. Probably has a trademark that might have lapsed that they can renew. But, you know, Kassius Ohno was an entity that existed, even though Chris Hero, that was prior to people coming in and keeping their names.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for Chris Hero to come back in and be like, not only do I get to trade on being Chris Hero, I also get to trade on the fact that I've been here before as Kassius Ohno, and I left, and now I'm back.
It's probably helpful that he looks like Jesus too, because this is his second coming.
Well, it's very interesting to see what will happen if Solomon Crowe comes back, if Sami Callihan comes back, or if Juice Robinson.
I believe that the people who left, who had a name that was given to them by NXT, will go back to that NXT name when they come back. Like, I believe that
Bill James,
that Solomon Crowe will continue to be Solomon Crowe, that Bull Dempsey will continue to be Bull Dempsey, that, you know, CJ Parker will continue to be CJ Parker. Because I mean,
we'll find out.
if you have NXT continuity, why not keep it? Like, one of the things that NXT gets so right that WWE doesn't often is that they remember their history,
Right.
and that they play on
Yeah.
it.
and it'll be interesting to see what happens when those returns happen as well. Last thing we're going to talk about, because we just brought it up and we got about 5 minutes. Recently announced was it WWE meets the Jetsons Robo WrestleMania, which is a continuation of the Warner
That's
Brothers
much
animation.
safer.
The-
Really,
the
they
Warner
can't
Brothers-
get concussions.
Well, no,
It's true.
well, so this is the fourth movie that has been a collaboration with Warner Brothers Animation. We've got two Scooby-Doos and
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera,
Yeah,
but
well,
Warner
both,
Brothers.
yeah.
Right.
So we got two Scooby-Doos and a Flintstones is the first Jetsons one. And the story goes, have you watched the trailer? So
Sort of.
Okay.
It was very dark.
George
Yeah.
Jetson discovers Big Show, who's been frozen for 100 years in ice.
Yep.
He gets thawed out, of course, on Frozen Caveman Lawyer style.
Yep.
And third,
The world does find it
fourth
confusing.
SNL reference of the day. Big Show's like, oh, I'm in the future. I'm going to go get my world title back. And he finds out that humans are now in the future banned from participating in wrestling. Something that could really happen. It probably will.
Hopefully, yeah.
And only robots are allowed to wrestle. And WWE is now World Robot Entertainment. And the W is silent. And so Big Show enlists the hell. He takes over WWE. He reprograms the robots somehow, or they just follow him because he's bigger, I guess.
I thought he destroyed him.
No,
and
he uses the robots because he's going to use the robots to enslave humanity.
Oh, that's right.
So
And he reprograms
Big
them.
Show-
So
and-
little
Big Show-
Terminator.
Yeah, Big Show's
Yeah,
going to use
see,
the
I
robots
said it
to
was
enslave
dark.
humanity as wrestlers do. And so
Sure.
the Jetson family's only recourse is to travel back in time 100 years and enlist other WWE wrestlers and take them back to the future with them to stop Big Show. My problem with this is, well, I have a couple, but my biggest problem with this is the Jetsons figure out a way to travel back in time 100 years rather than murder Big Show. They're like, oh no, it's much simpler to enlist other WWE wrestlers.
We have to fight back.
And then go back in time.
But it's a much more peaceful future. Unless you live on the surface of the earth.
Well, it's much more peaceful, yeah. It's like, unless you're, and then at the end, at the end of the trailer, the WWE wrestlers that they've brought back with them are like murdering all these robots.
Murdering the murder bots.
And Rosie's like, yay! Like what?
It's to that thing.
No, Rosie!
The weirdest thing to me.
They're committing genocide on your people!
She's the Uncle
shouldn't
Tom
be
of
sharing
robots.
this.
The weirdest thing to me is that they made Astro sound like Scooby Doo.
Astro's always sounded like
No, he has. He's had
Roach.
he's been a little bit more high toned, but not. It's not the same. Sorry, I'm
Of all the things to nitpick,
that's the thing that I nitpick.
that dog's voice does not sound like the real dog.
Dude, that's the thing that
voice.
like. That's the one thing about the Flintstones one is like, well, they got a really good guy to voice Fred. Cool. It sounds pretty close, even though it's not that great. George is okay. Astro, like Big Show. I don't know who they got for him, but it's like it's Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, and was there anybody else?
Rollins, the Uso brothers.
Usos, yeah, the two Usos still with paint. Very
Credited as Uso brothers.
Uso brothers.
Yeah.
Uso brothers.
We're gonna queue up Astro's
Get a
voice.
little Astro.
Matter, Astro? Right there.
Nope, that is
You're
not.
scared.
No, it's just that's
That's
just
a
That is a
fan.
fan.
Fan did
I don't
that.
want to know where it goes. Anyway, regardless,
They're gonna.
make sure to pick up WWE Meets the Jetsons Robo WrestleMania, where all local DVDs
We should review it
stored.
on an after show.
Yeah, we'll do it on Flippin'
We'll do a
Popcorn Talk.
spotlight on it.
We'll do a spotlight on the movie.
Let's do it.
Maybe.
I miss those.
Yeah, so
And
that's
the
our
drinking.
show. If you want us to. If you want to take a look at when Hobo and I used to review wrestling movies, head to soapboxcartv.com. That's not true. Soapboxcar TV, it's a YouTube channel. Check it out. There's some great stuff on there. And some Hobo matches.
Superstar Cinema.
Superstar Cinema. It's a lot of fun. Gentlemen, where can the folks find you on Twitter until we meet again next week?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at TrueHobo. Watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Fight TV. Recently, people have been discovering it. I don't know how one actually discovers it at this day and age. I figured we were kind of everywhere. So there's that. If you want to see me in a town near you, you go ahead and tweet companies with the hashtag HireTheHobo. I'm announcing dates of places I'll be this year, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Bill.
You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. You can check out my writing at uproxx.com/sports, withspandex.com, and you can find me every Wednesday right here
Aw, Bill.
on the NXT team, hashtag NXT team.
Unless
and
he
you can find
dies.
this shirt at nxteam.spreadshirt.com.
And you can also support your favorite
This shirt.
sports cat, your favorite.
Not this shirt. Sorry.
Well, a shirt that looks
Just
like it.
That's got
a
Bill on it.
look-alike.
Also, we're announcing right now, we're doing an after show for the UK Championship Tournament this Sunday at 9 p.m. Please join us. It's going to be fun. Right now, we're hoping to get a couple hours to talk about 6 hours of wrestling. So please join us then. It's going to be myself, the Hobo, Steve Kaufman, and Ty Matthews. Hopefully, we'll separate you two.
Yeah, you put him on the other side of the table, or I'm gonna take his tie and strangle him to death.
But his name is Ty. That'd be weird. Also,
Be
make sure to
ironic.
follow
Ty on
everybody
Ty
here.
violence.
Check out our other wrestling programming. We had Sammy Callahan. That's right, Solomon Crow. We were just talking about him on
Jeremiah
Xbox.
Crane.
Jeremiah Crane on Lucha Underground. On
likes
Xbox
birds.
12360. Next week we're gonna have the Young Bucks. So make sure you're tuning into Xbox 12360 every week. And next week on Making the Way to the Ring with Lillian Garcia, we're gonna have Kurt Angle. So make sure to tune in there. Follow me on Twitter at Mark Donica.
Is it true?
It's damn true. Follow all of us here at AfterBuzz TV. Leave us reviews on iTunes and down below. We love you. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later. We're gonna buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.